Google shadow ban DEI detected. Let me see what he says.
What's up, guys? I'm Cabrutus, and well, I made a post on Twitter earlier today, and one of the comments was this Reddit thread. It really drew my attention. I decided to make a video immediately after I saw it. This is gonna be the first time.
Right now, I'm like 80 to 90% sure it's happening. The 10 to 20% is that Google does work algorithmically with something that's called search engine optimization, or SEO. So there is a chance that the website just doesn't get a lot of traffic, but the pages about the website do. That's the only thing that I could think of, but I don't know.
I'll take a look at this.
They get pushed up. Yeah, they get pushed
let's
up.
take a quick read. It's from Reddit Kotaku in Action, which is a great name, by the way. The Cactus Pie. Google censored DIDetected.com. Googling for DI detected no longer shows any results. We're used to. Looking at the Googling. Okay, so Googling DIDetected.com. Okay, so let's give it a try.
Yeah, I try myself.
.com. Yeah, it shows.
No, you searched something different because you searched it .com and there you didn't search it .com. Let me try it with this. I just Googled Google. DEIdetected.com. Yeah. No, he's right. He's right, bro. Like, yeah. No, it's happening. Try Bing. Okay. Well, I even without .com, it's number one. And with it, it's also number one. I mean, the website .com, literally searching for that's like YouTube.com doesn't result in giving a search for YouTube.com. Like, cause you can I agree, like, I think now I'm like 2% that it's not on purpose. Because like a .com is a website search explicitly. That's an explicit website search and not just a term search. Add site only. So I would type it like this. I've never done this before. So I would do it like this. Zero results. And if I go... Let's see if this might not show. Okay, no, it's fine. Yeah. Check gaslighting? No. I mean, like, no, I you know, again, the fundamental of the scientific method is a null hypothesis. If you're not working to disprove your own conclusion, you're not doing yourself a favor. I want to try everything to disprove this before I think it's true.
It shows my...
But that's everything I can think of.
Yes, it has a link, but it's a Steam community link that, redirects to my website. This is because I have this under my creator page. So if you click it right here, of course, it's going to take you to the website. There's the thread itself right here. Google Censored DI detected. What's this? There's this guy, this chap. Oh, talking about my interview video.
It's not. That's not. It's not the website though.
Twitter profile, I guess, on Twitter page.
Why is it a big deal that it's censored? Well, I mean, it means that Google it's another point on the graph, as if we needed another one, that Google is actively like curating the search results for things based off of whether Google approves of them or not. this is one thing you have to understand, is that Google is a tool. People want Google to be a tool to perform a function. So if the tool doesn't perform the function, then the tool is bad. It's that simple. So this is the same for AI. If you buy a hammer and the hammer has like some sort of like magnetic fucking detector that you're building a doghouse because this hammer's only meant to make cat houses and not dog houses, and it like holds the hammer back so you can't nail nails with the hammer when you make a doghouse, nobody would ever buy that fucking hammer. Because people don't want tools to make decisions for them. People want to make the decision to use a tool and then use what they want to use with the tool. That's the way it works. So this is, I think it's a very big deal. It's a huge deal that you have one of the biggest websites in the world that's deciding what people can and can't see. It is. It's huge. Like, how do you not think that's huge? That's gigantic.
Oh, it's because I linked the website in my post. Oh,
Yeah.
dude.
And it's like also like, here's the other thing is that Google enjoys, somebody brought up Section 230. That's a really good point. Google enjoys a lot of privileges that the government provides to it because Google agrees to be a platform and not a publisher. So Google is actively basically enjoying a number of privileges that it has that's granted to it by the government while simultaneously not behaving in the way that it's implied to behave. I think that's a very big issue. So I have no problem with Google. If Google wants to do this, that's their website. That's their right. But I don't want to start giving them privileges and, like exceptions and, like making go-arounds for rules like, oh, Google doesn't have to follow this rule because it's special. No, it's not. It's doing the same thing. Like, that's fine. If you want to be the same as everybody else, do it. But then don't go and expect privileges at the same time that you do the thing that the privileges are supposed to enable you not to do. That's really it.
It's gone. It's gone. I've checked it like 2 days
Shows
ago
up on
and it was
Bing?
working
Yeah, it does.
just fine. Let's check DuckDuckGo. DI detected. Boom! The first result. Right there.
I doubt Google is actively censoring the guy. They don't care enough. But okay, but they're accidentally censoring him. Right? Like let's assume that they're accidentally censoring him. So I feel like this is a fucking, again, 98% chance. Not 100. Hey, it's not 100. There could be something weird. Isn't that even worse? No, it's not, because intentional behavior implies a pattern, whereas accidental behavior doesn't. It's totally different. It's common sense.
Okay, let's see what the thread says. I can confirm the detect not in Google. One can try searching. Why is not listed is unclear. There are some pretty nasty website with questionable content that... Dude, this is crazy. I mean, maybe it's cause the elections is heating up in the United States. Maybe that's why. Because
I think that's crazy. And I think that stuff like this is the biggest argument for regulation of these internet companies. The idea that because the elections are heating up, Google is now being more censorious with the different results. That's insane. That's crazy. And again, they're a private company and they have every right to do this. But what I would argue is that they don't have a right to the privileges that these websites enjoy if they're not behaving in good faith, which they are clearly not. Clearly not behaving in good faith. Take away the privileges then.
as well, I mean, even some politicians are talking about the DEI.
Someone says, fuck yeah, more government regulation. As you type on your phone that's regulated by the government, every single thing in your entire life is regulated by the government. This idea that regulation is bad is like a fish that's protesting water. Everything in your entire life is regulated. You're delusional.
I mean, this guy, Rap Matt Gaetz, I Have no idea who this guy is. I never heard about this guy. Official
He's like a
Congressman Matt
conservative guy.
Gaetz, proud conservatives, honored served. Oh, he's from Florida, based state, by the way. It's becoming political. It's being used as a political platform by some politicians. DI has no role in our society. We must drive it out of corporate boardrooms, out of our military. Damn, the military has DI? United States military has DI? We had no idea about this, bro. And we ought to drive anybody out of Congress who believes in this racist garbage. Hashtag dump DI.
Also, another component, because I know that there are some people that are like super conservative that watch, and so they're like mind broken over the fact that I think regulation is good. I want to let you know that the current rules are regulation. The current way that they behave in and the adherence to these rules is by fundamental a regulation. So, in fact, if I say get rid of these rules, I am just changing the regulation from one thing to another, if not removing it.
And wow, 73,000 views, 1,000 reposts, bunch of people liking, bookmarks. And this guy's profile is not small, bro. I mean, almost 3 million followers. Yeah, he's
a lot of people know this guy.
Big politician in the United States.
Yeah,
definitely. And dude, this is crazy. This is how far are we getting? And of course, my website is literally called DI Detected. Even if he's not mentioning the video gaming industry, which is my main subject, right? Soon to be expanded to some other parts of pop culture as a whole. But still, I only talk about video games. But it's DI. DI can be everywhere, anywhere. And
there's just some other shit. I'll link you all the video you want to watch the rest of it. But like, this is generally what this is what I think is like, I think that if Google wants to, this actually happens because of regulations. With less regulations, this wouldn't happen. Regardless of why you think it's happening, and like you can extrapolate this one way or another, there's a video. I think that the probability that this is happening is like 98%. Google has openly stated multiple times that they curate search results. It logically tracks that they are curating, whenever they were talking about curating search results, the people that were talking about it were the people that were pro-DEI. I think that you could logically assume that they did do this on purpose. And it was intentional. And even if it's not intentional, I think that it is 100% happening. And in my opinion, 98% intentional. There is a probability, it exists, right? That it's just accidental, it didn't actually happen, etc. But that probability is very low. Yeah, it could be massive reports on the URL, not an active Google decision. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, right? That's the 98%, or sorry, that's the 2%. Sure. These folks are calling anyone non-white DEI. Well, either way, right? I'm not talking about like whether you think DEI is good or not. I think it's very problematic that websites are getting delisted randomly. I do. And I think that if Google wants to act as a tool to list websites and it wants to enjoy the privileges that the government provides it by not having to worry about certain types of accountability for content that's indexed and shown on its platform, such as revenge porn and things that are a lot worse than that, then I think it should also be accountable for not making decisions like this that are biased. So I think, it's like you can't have your cake and eat it too. Like, they can enjoy the privileges, but then they have to behave in a way that adheres to what those privileges are supposed to uphold. But if you're enjoying those privileges and you're also taking advantage of them, well, then you're just taking advantage of the people. And so the website's literally broken. I think the website is broken because people just like spam went to it. But whenever I went to it earlier, it was fine. I literally did this like minutes ago. So it's not like it was like, 3 days ago I checked this. And also, like, if you want to say, well, that's why they didn't index it, there's other websites that, like, a lot of websites, if a streamer goes to them and, like, everybody on the chat goes to them, it'll crash the website. So I don't think you can even extrapolate an argument from that. So, yeah, it's all automated. It's not done by a real person. I don't know. I'm not sure if it is or not. Yeah, I'm not sure. Whether they're biased on behalf of the government, though, I'm not sure. You'd have to, like, really explain what you mean by that, rather than just, like, a theoretical. Every major website has those protections, though. You need to regulate all search engines and all social media companies, which I agree with, but I doubt it'll happen. No, I think it will 100% happen. Regulation of the internet will happen a lot more, and every year it will happen more. There will be good things that come out of it, and there will also be bad things that come out of it. But I think that regulation is, in some cases, necessary, in some cases very unnecessary, but I think that it's inevitable regardless. So, yeah. Automation doesn't exclude human intervention. Yeah, and also if something is automated, that doesn't mean that it's necessarily completely absolved of guilt, right? So that's the way I see it. Like any regulation, yeah, exactly. People write automation. There isn't a chain where at some point people were evolved. I don't know that. Like, it's impossible to know whether that's true or not, but I think that this does seem to align with what Google has said, like, publicly in the past with, like, like their values and stuff. So, big surprise, this happens. Like, I don't know. Like, I would immediately assume this is what's happening. I don't know. Like, I think that if you were to assume this wasn't happening, if I was to, I'm not going to say it's happening 100%, like I said, but if I had to say, is it happening or not? It is. It is. Like, if I had to guess one way or another, I bet it's happening on purpose. I do. I don't think it's intentional. Vercel, their DDoS protection or something, it's preventing indexing, and there's stuff about it on Stack Overflow. You don't think it's intentional? Well, maybe you should find a few other websites that are, controversial and very small in scope, and then see if those would also show that are of a different political leaning. And then I think it'd be a better way to show that, because, like, you can say that, right? But, like, you're making, like, an abstract argument. Like, for me, I want to see an actual, like, an effect of this. Like, I want to see, like, you say this is happening. Let's see it happen, right? Like, that's why I wanted to test it and see it for myself. You can talk about, oh, yeah, this is some indexing thing. But, like, with this specific example, I don't think so. Is that, trust me, pick up, it's intentional, it's bad development, I'm a web developer, pick me up? What do you mean? What are you talking about this? You can explain? Okay, explain it. Go ahead. But it's not Google's fault, the website is badly configured? Okay. Well, no, I mean, I'll listen to what he has to say. Why not? Let's listen to what he's saying. Do you see that the website don't has robots.txt? I don't know what that means. This file is for crawlers. This file is for Google Search Engine Console. How do you know that that file is required for Google to index a website? How do you know that? It's not? Right, because you could logically find another website with that file and then probably be able to find it on Google, right? So it's not. Okay. If you develop a website badly and you don't have this file properly configured, your website will never be indexed in google.com. Can you find another example of a website of the similar size that has this same issue? Because I don't believe this. I don't think this is true. Because, like, so this is the reason why I don't think that it's true. I think that probably a lot of the other search engines use something that's very similar to how Google indexes search results. It's probably like 95% similar. So why is it that it doesn't show up at all, but on the other ones it shows up in first place? On every single other one, it's first place, but on Google it doesn't exist. I can't. That doesn't make sense to me. Sorry. Zach, I was working at Google at age of 19. I'm 33 right now. They're working the same way all these years. Okay, so you worked at Google. All right, that's good. Are there websites? So let me make sure the file is for Google Search Engine Control. Are there websites that have the robot.txt file not configured that are still indexed in Google? Very simple question, because that's what your argument is, right? Your argument is that because this file isn't configured, then it's not showing up. Well, if somebody else found a website that didn't have an article, the file configured, and it did show up, wouldn't that disprove the argument? Like, logically, that's how I would... Because, like, you can... you remove that variable because you have a control and you do it, and that's not how it works. Right? I mean, I don't know what I'm thinking. Yes, ask me. Okay, so then there's the question, right? So if there are websites that don't have this file configured, then why is this website the reason being the file isn't configured? It doesn't make sense. They can, sure, but the rank will be low as hell. Okay, so will be almost not indexable. So even inside of your argument, almost not is not. So wouldn't your argument be disproven immediately if you were able to look directly by looking through the search index specifically by doing site : DEI detected? Oh, sorry, this is on Bing, so it doesn't work. Wouldn't that immediately... I feel like that would break it, right? I think that breaks the argument. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that breaks the argument. It's not only the file, it's about many variables, but in web development, it's about robots.txt, site mount, DA rank backlinks. This is one of the situations, like, I think I know that this is wrong, but I don't think I have enough. Like, I know a little bit about web development in this, but, like, I know, like, 1%. I don't know enough. I don't know enough to, like, argue this on a technical level. I can't argue this on a technical level. Like, I can't. But nothing about this makes sense. He's kind of right. Yeah, but everything that he's saying, like, the moment that you nail down a variable, like, if you find a variable that you think is the reason why it's happening, then you could logically look for another website that has the same variable and also expect for it not to be indexed. But if it is indexed, it would imply that that variable is not the causal factor in causing it to not be indexed. Like, almost not is not. Yes, whenever it said 0 search results, like 0, like 0.000001 is almost 0, but it's not 0. We got a 0. We didn't get a 0.000001. We got a literal 0. Zach, why was I going to lie to you? We're almost the same age. I'm not a kid, you know? AVAX Home was a pirate software. Google didn't even ban it. They just de-indexed it because of bad intentional development. I think that we're having a communication problem. Because what you're... You're agreeing with me. I said it's intentional. And then you said Google de-indexed it because it was bad. Which was like... I'm not trying to be rude, right? I mean, I'm not at all. But I really don't think that what you're saying makes sense. This is a situation where both things are possible because none are mutually exclusive. Well, it just doesn't make sense to me. It's not conspiration. It's just bad development. Plus, I can say they use Cloudflare, and nowadays Cloudflare SaaS is very difficult to configure properly and make it index to Google. Can you provide me with another example of that not happening? Like, because you're talking about, like, theoreticals. Like, I want to see an example. Like, where's an example of this happening? Because You're making an extrapolation. You can't prove that. I can't disprove it. So I need an example. It used to be indexed. Oh, that's a great question. That's a great comment. Yeah. Have you considered that examples are difficult to actually provide? Because people usually fix issues like this? He doesn't deserve a ban? Why would I ban him? No, why would... He's not getting banned. Why would he get banned? No, the people that get banned for being, like, psychotic or assholes. Avax Home is the best example I was aware in my last 2 years' career. Yeah, but so I think that example is actually a very bad example. And the reason why I think that it's very bad is that based off of the way that you described their relationship with Google, you said that Google de-indexed them, which implies that Google intentionally took an action to de-index them. And if Google intentionally took an action to de-index them, that means that logically they were indexed before. So if Google intentionally took them off the index, that means that Google did it. And I'm saying Google did this. Now, your argument could be that Google only did it because of the way that they had badly configured the intentional development, right? That could be your argument. I don't think so. I don't trust Google enough for that. I don't. I think that they're lying. I don't trust that. But here's the thing, is I feel like right now, you can tell Google not to index your website. Well, I mean, like, so do you think he told Google not to index his website and then he made a video about Google not indexing his website for censorship? I mean, yeah, that's possible, right? I mean, sure. Now, I think that's like kind of a conspiracy theory, but I mean, again, it's possible, absolutely. Probably less possible than Google just doing it. What's the context argument? Yeah. Robot text file doesn't keep Google from indexing your site. It just gives info on how to index. Yeah, I think that we've gotten to the point to where, here's the truth. Google is not evil, Zach. Well, then why did they get rid of their logo of saying do no evil? Or don't be evil? I mean, that sounds like something somebody evil would do. Like, I don't know. Look, I mean, of all the things not to say that they're not, I mean, it's weird that they would say that, man. I'll listen to indexing because one thing. Two, probably bad development. The other one is the website developers sometimes make these errors intentional because they can index it later to gain better rank with backlinks network. Some sites, as Fox News, use the second part of this technique. Okay, I don't have an, like, I don't think what you're saying is the reason why it's happening. There's no way that you can prove it to me because we don't know why Google didn't index it. They never said anything about it. If you can provide an example that could make it make sense, that's fine. It seems like we probably don't have one. And it seems like every other example that's being used disproves this. I think that you're wrong. I think you're totally wrong based off of every type of just layman's understanding that I'm looking at it, everything Google has said over the last 10 years, like people complaining about Google de-indexing things a long time. Now, you could be right, but I think the chances of you being right is like 1 or 2%. I think it is much more likely that the obvious thing happened. That's what I think. Yeah, pull me up if you need a quick demonstration on what's wrong with the website. You can figure out everything that's wrong with the website, but that still doesn't mean the website would be de-indexed. This person says they have an example to provide. Okay, go ahead. The website is malfunctioning. I can demonstrate. Okay, go ahead. This will be the last one. Then I think that, again, this is kind of played out at this point. It would be based on Google's tools. Okay. Thanks. Go to the pagespeedinsights.com and copy paste the website link. The Google tool will tell you that they're experiencing difficulties indexing it. Okay. Paste the DEI website into it. Okay. SEO's 80. Crawling and indexing. This page has an unsuccessful HTTP status code. That's on mobile? Oh, you're right. Same thing. Here's the reality. I don't know enough about this to research this and to know what I'm looking at and to actually analyze this properly. Straight up, I don't know enough about this. I can go through this and listen to what chat says. I think that's not the reason. I would be very curious to hear somebody who knows more than I do evaluate this. Because based off of what I see and what I know about Google, I think Google's doing this on purpose. And the reason why is that every other website doesn't have a problem with this. Only Google does. Google has already said that they've done... You just did? This? A random chatter? You expect me to believe a random chatter about this? Absolutely not. You guys both have points, yes. I don't know what's happening about this. Well, let me tell you what's happening. Well, yeah. Yeah, absolutely, I think this is what's happening. If I see something that makes sense based off of everything that I understand, and then somebody tells me that's not why it's happening, no, I'm not going to immediately believe it. Absolutely not. No. Yeah, why would I believe that? Absolutely, you're gaslighting you. Yes, and I don't know enough about this to be able to, like, actually, like... Yeah, if it walks like a duck, it quacks like a duck. It could be a person pretending to be a duck, but it could also just be a fucking duck. That's what I would say. Google is awful for sure. Which website you compare with does not matter. The issue is that the DEI website is just malfunctioning. The dev can probably fix it. How can the dev fix... Okay, actually, this is a great... No, you're bringing up a really good point. How can the dev fix it? Because if you're saying that it's a malfunction, and then Google will then re-index it based off of the malfunction being fixed, then logically, if they do that, then the website will be re-indexed. So what do they need to do? Pull me up, I can explain a few things. Why would I pull somebody up about this? You guys, like... There can be one person who's 14 and the next person who has a PhD in network design or network administration. You look the same. You understand? You look the same. There's no way that I can look and see, oh, this is what this person has. This is what this person knows. Yeah, I can't decide that. So what does he need to do to get re-indexed? There's no reason why Bing and DuckDuckGo can index a site and a bigger search engine like Google can't. It makes no sense. Exactly. Like, everything about this, like, nothing about this makes sense to me. Like, I'm sorry, but, like, whenever... And I'm a big believer that when something doesn't make sense, that's probably because it's not true. That's generally what I think. Now, again, I'm not 100%... But I think I'm pretty fucking close. They need to resolve that numbered error. It's not that they can't index it. It's automatic. But making too many requests is not a good sign generally. Just a quick check shows that the issue is being related to HTTP requests, which appears spammy. I'm going to be honest. I don't know enough about this to debate somebody on this. I don't. And... based off of everything that I've heard from Google, I'm not going to believe this until I have it thoroughly explained by somebody who I trust. I can't debate this. To be honest, yeah, Knowledge 404, yeah, I don't know this. Nothing about this makes sense to me. I think it's being suppressed. I think the arguments that are being used don't make sense, but I don't know enough about it to completely disprove it. That's the way I see it. Murder's on the way, let your artistic viewers debate it out on Reddit. Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's the way I see it. They don't make sense? Yeah, it does not make sense at all to me. Call Mudahar Pirate Software. Yeah, somebody, like, I don't know anything about web hosting or anything like that. There's a number of reasons why Google might not automatically index your website. It's partly proven by the hundreds of websites answering why it might not be indexed, and it seems like a common issue. Maybe you're right, maybe you're not. But I'm sure that there will be a lot of people that will give him advice. There's a lot of people that will give him advice on how to change the indexing and how to fix whatever the perceived problem is. So logically, if he fixes the perceived observable public problems, then he would be re-indexed, right? So if he's not re-indexed, then it would mean that those problems were not the reason why he was de-indexed. So let's see what happens. That's the way I see it. Let's see what happens. Hopefully he gets some research about this and he can figure it out. I can probably fix their issue in a minute or two. Then DM him on Twitter. I have no idea. Pull me up. I'm a dev. I'll explain how indexing works. You're not a dev. You're a chatter. There's no barrier to entry of you saying that you're a dev. You understand that? Think about it from my perspective. How do I know that you know what you're talking about? I'm a physician. I have no idea. All I'm saying is that everything about this points to censorship. I think that it makes sense. Everything about it makes sense. And when something makes sense to me, I'm going to need some pretty hard fucking evidence to expect that it's not the case. Okay? I think that usually things like this happen for a reason, and the reason is usually a lot more obvious than it seems. So we'll see what happens. Let's see here. Google some of this stuff yourself and check yourself? No, I'm not going to. I can't. The thing is, I can't Google and look it up myself. It's like people doing their own research with COVID vaccines. You can't do that because you need to have a body of knowledge in order to accurately process the knowledge that you're getting. It's the same reason why, like, you don't teach kids about fractions before you teach them about subtraction or, like, addition. Because this is information that builds on itself. So if I research this and I look into this, there's a reason why people go to school for this for a very, very long time. It's because it's not as simple as just looking up an article and, you know, reading a few articles and be like, oh, well, now I know that's like, you know, Terrence Howard, right? That guy on fucking Joe Rogan. Like, I know that's not how it works. Never attribute to malice, which has been adequately explained by stupidity. I don't think it can be explained. I don't.